Very good afternoon to you. This is Panthers podcast. We are live. It is Saturday the 23rd of November. It's just past midday. With myself, Rob, this afternoon we've got Pickles.
Hello.
We've got Chris.
Hello.
And we've got Dino.
What's up?
So, we're back. We're back from Denmark and we're going to be reviewing and looking back at those three games that we played last weekend, 15th to 17th of November. We're also going to look ahead to this weekend's action against the Sheffield Steelers on the Manchester Storm. So we'll start with last Friday night's game where it finished Amiens 2, the Nottingham Panthers 4. Goals from that one coming from Jakey Hansen opening scoring after 4 minutes. Jake Hansen on the power play. William Quist and Sam Hurt with our 4 goals in a rather convincing victory. So we're going to go around the room. We'll start with Chris today, just for a bit of a change. What did you make of that one?
I thought it was a decent game. I thought we still looked like we looked a bit tired in the legs, been travelling, new ice, new country. But I thought it was a good start, and we played really well. I think we matched up well with them. We dominated in a fair amount. I thought Carl was playing really well, and in general it was good. I thought some of the refereeing was pretty bad. I'm sure we'll get onto that cross-check onto Deutsch later, for example.
Yeah, that was at the end of that game, wasn't it?
Yeah. And some of the other penalties. So re-listening to the cast they did, Gary was saying that because they're getting some of the refs are getting reviewed by the IHF to see if they can do bigger tournaments, they tend to do it in a certain way to try and make themselves look better. So that may maybe some of the decisions, but I thought generally we played well. And I thought it was a good start. And it was good to get some points on the board early, because otherwise if we had lost or even only just got a point, it would have made things much more difficult.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Dino?
Yeah, I thought it was a bit of a not amazing start. I thought they forechecked really, really fast. They were really quite a fast team, weren't they? Their forecheck was really pressing us early on, but I thought we dealt with it really well. We came out of it. We got, I think, just getting the skates going, weren't it? Mm-hmm. And then we got going. I think it was jumping up and down in joy, and then just as the songs had finished, they equalised.
Yeah, I think they did. I think it was like 30 seconds, wasn't it?
I think after that we got going again and just pretty much dominated the majority of the game. They had some good breakaways with their speed, but Carl stood on his head, didn't he? It was fantastic.
I thought in general, our normal weakness is our second period.
Yeah. And
we played that. I think that was our best period. We really dominated that. That's when we took an 3-goal advantage into that period.
At the end of period 2, it was 3-1. We were 3-1 up with those 2 goals right in the middle of period 2.
I felt we sat back a bit in the third period. I got a bit nervy, especially when they got that early goal. Yeah. But I thought in general we held on well. We looked strong. Yeah. And made me confident for the next day. Yeah,
I thought we held our lead really well. There's a few times I thought, oh God, no, but I think Carr saved us quite a few times, and the guys were solid throughout the whole game, really. I think just mainly at the start, I think was a bit shocked by their speed at the start on the forecheck, but other than that, I thought it looked like we were going to win the whole game all the way through.
Yeah, as soon as we took the lead, I didn't see us losing it. Like Carr, for example, I think he's coming on leaps and bounds since those mistakes in Glasgow. Yeah. And I've got full confidence behind him now. I watch him and I don't think he's going to concede. I think he's going to save everything I've got. And even the D-men look confident around him now.
Good. Anything to add, Matt?
No, I think pretty much covered it really. I mean, obviously with Carr, I think he's definitely stepped up his game a little bit. I mean, I know Whistle's not really getting the ice time, so he's probably going to be lacking a little bit behind Carl at the minute, but he most certainly is starting to pick up his game, and I think at the start of the season, most certainly we was a little bit more, on edge, thinking, wow, this guy, we brought him in as our Importnetti, and he didn't seem to show much interest to begin with, but as time's gone by, I've got to admit he's vastly becoming one of my favourites in the team.
I think he's got better, the team in front's got better, and they're all working just better together, really, aren't they? Working as a full team now, really getting going. I think the probably one to mention in that one was probably Hansen was on fire. And even Quist, that first game, Quist looked like a different man.
I think on the night, Quist was called as man of the match, wasn't he? But
I was surprised. Hansen
shout out to Hansen with that 2 goals and 1 assist out of them 4 goals. Great start for Jake.
Quist had a rocket boosters on in that game. I think it's more of his style though. The European style suited him a bit better.
Yeah, most certainly. One of the obviously you've already pointed out one of the major things we obviously do need to talk about, and it's not just in the Continental Cup; it's actually in our league as well. And it's the level of refereeing that we're seeing at the minute. I know there's a lot of controversial comments over the refereeing, and let's be fair. Oh, there's Conan going in for his say. Let's be fair. There's it's not an easy job, He put us out on there, wouldn't have a flaming clue at the end of the day, and that's the be on and end all of it. But at the minute, especially in this Continental Cup, you've already mentioned Deutsch taking a really bad cross check to the back. It wasn't even called as a penalty.
There was 30 seconds left in that game, and he just comes in clear behind him, goes straight through the numbers, and he goes head first, tumbling into the boards, and down on the ice for quite a while. But luckily, got up and skated off on his own in the end, because that could have been a major injury.
And I think it was a big turning point for the second game as well. I mean, I know you can't just blame like one player that's taken out of the team that you're going to start losing the game. But the second game, obviously, we'll talk a bit more in detail in a minute. But we did lose that second game, and I think we did miss Deutsch. I think it was a massive turning point for the Panthers over the weekend. I think they needed that line and they needed Deutsch in there. And like you say, 30 seconds to go. It's just a poor show.
There's just no need for. No. If you've lost the game, there's no need to go out and deliberately just try and injure a player.
It made me enjoy when we all said cheerio at the end of the third game as the French team walked past. Even more sweeter.
Yeah, exactly.
It was just unnecessary. It's ridiculous.
Do you think that the level of the refereeing in our EIHL group at the minute is up to standard, or do you think we could be better?
Hit and miss. It depends who's refereeing, I think.
Yeah, agreed.
Some are probably going to be controversial, especially for Dean, but I actually quite rate Darnell.
Yeah.
I think he's a decent ref, and a couple of the others are pretty decent, but there's some that they just don't let the game flow. They call everything when they don't need to. Like if you watch, I watch a lot. I don't really watch so much NHL, but I watch a lot of SHL, for example. And there's some bigger hits and that, and they let the game flow and keep it going more. They keep the penalties to a minimum unless they're actual and out and out penalties.
Obviously, with this Continental weekend, we did see the reffing. They did quite keep the game flowing, to be honest. But unfortunately, it's like you say, it's already been a little bit of swings and roundabouts, because it's all right keeping the game flowing, but when they're letting things away like that, I mean, there was a lot of big hits against the boards, especially against our guys, that I don't think would have got away in the IHL. So are they overcautious with how they come across with safety aspects of things?
It could just be the way they view the rules to us. It could be that we take maybe a bit of a hybrid NHL kind of European view, where they're taking more of the straight, this is the IIHF rules, we stick to those kind of rules.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was a comment over the weekend saying it's not ballet, it's ice hockey, which fair enough. It is a good comment, to be fair. Those guys put the limbs out there and risk every game they go out there.
Our reffing is behind the standard of the quality of play now.
Yeah.
They just can't, and it's just not good enough.
I thought those Danish referees, when they were in,
they actually let the game flow that weekend, pretty much both of them.
Definitely.
I'll get onto a bit more on the refereeing once we get to the third game, because I think there's some controversial points there with the way they ran that game.
Okay, so game 2 sort of host the Hungarian team Ferencváros. Who of course won all 3 of their games in Group 2, in Stage 2, to qualify for this round in Vojens in Denmark. We started with Jackson Whistle for this one on the Saturday night with the first line of Matheson, DeSantis, Her, Pellini and Hansen, with Carr as a backup netty and Kelsel and Lakovic also not icing very much at all during that game. We basically used 3 lines throughout the whole game with that one. Just looking at the sheet now, Guy Lepine's changed to Great British apparently on the sheet in front of me, but we did just use the 3 lines during that game. And the goal scorers for that one for us coming from Brett Pellini in the first period and Sam Hare with that goal right at the very end when we'd pulled Jackson Whistle with just over 2 minutes left to go, but it wasn't to be. We lost that one 2-3. We'll go around the room. We'll start with Matt with this one.
Yes, we were definitely having a little bit of a different show on the Saturday, wasn't we? I think, I think we definitely missed Deutsch. Maybe that's one of the reasons he was playing 3 lines. Maybe he needed to get the lines going like that and try and reduce some of the players. I don't know whether it was a game plan. I don't know whether they wanted to go into the final game and literally just win it. I'm not 100% sure, but we definitely didn't play too well. We were sitting back too much. We weren't really pushing as much as we were on the Friday evening. Maybe they had some tired legs. I don't really know, but you know, it was a close game in the end. To end 3-2, in fairness, and we could have won it, and we should have buried it on the Saturday. But ultimately, obviously, we all know we're going into the super final in January. I'm not 100% sure standout players, and there wasn't really anybody that was sort of shouting out to me that.
I actually thought we had possession, like dominated possession that whole game, and we just didn't bury our chances.
We didn't get the puck luck like they did.
Yeah.
Like that first goal, for example.
That first goal was abysmal. I've never seen a deflection bounce go in like that ever.
Is it? I mean, a lot of comments over the weekend picking up a vibe that it was Jackson Whistle's fault. For me personally, I don't think Jackson really did a lot wrong.
I just didn't think the guys got the puck in the net down the other end. I think we had plenty of chances to win that game.
Yeah.
The Hungarian Netty, I think it was, he got named netminder of the weekend, and I think he saved almost 40 shots in that game. It was like 38 shots, I'm sure. It was a really high amount of shots in that game.
Yeah, I think
he stood out like they gave.
Yeah, I think we had plenty of shots. It just wouldn't go in.
No, it's just like he played a blinder. It's unfortunate. It's just one of those days. I think.
Then we were just dominating possession, and they just caught us down the other end a couple of times. One lucky bounce, and then
they had that
2 more goals.
That like minute of madness where they conceded twice really quickly.
And then first one being a short-handed goal as well. We were on power play. We conceded at 12:39, and then conceded again at 13:42 in period 2. So that minute and 3 seconds, which lost us the game through lack of concentration from a lot of the guys.
Yeah, I don't think it was dire. I don't think it was. You know, I don't think we can go away from that game. I mean, we wasn't angry. You know, at some points this season we've been so angry walking out of a game that you know we don't even want to talk. But it wasn't like we went home like saying, "Oh, they should have won. They should have done this." Because yes, okay, it was a little bit more lackadaisical. But like Dean's already said, we had the possession. We kept hold of the puck most of the game, and
they didn't give up. They were going for it the whole game, but it just wasn't happening. And then we got one. You know, we got that with them. When we pulled Jackson, got that one back, and there was a few more chances towards the end where it could have gone in, and we could have gone to overtime, and we would have had the point we needed already.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not a great deal we can really talk about, to be honest, on that game. It was just unlucky.
I thought